Hello students, hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to conduct the second chapter. In this session we are going to see the MS Access working with tables. You already have learned this chapter, the introduction chapter in 7th standard, and today we are going to see the advanced part, that is working with the tables is very much important because the table is the main content building block of the Excel. So we are going to see that part in this chapter. Database management system, that is DBMS. We can just break that database plus management system. So database is a collection of data and management system is the set of programs to store and retrieve those data. Based on this, we can define DBMS like this. DBMS is a collection of interrelated data and a set of program to store and access those data in an easy and effective manner. Why we require or why we need this DBMS? So database managements are basically developed for large amount of data. When dealing with huge amount of data, there are two things that require optimization, that is storage of data and retrieval of the data. Storage, according to the principle of the database management system, the data is stored in such a way that it acquires a lot of less space as the redundant data, that is duplicate data, has been removed before the storage. Let's take an example. For example, in banking system, suppose customer is having two accounts. In one is saving account, another is a salary account. Let's say bank stores saving account data in one place. That is, these places are called the tables. Learn them later. Okay, and salary account data at the another place. In that case, if the customer information such as customer name, address, etc. are stored in both the places, then it is just a wastage of storage. That is duplication of the data. So to organize the data in a better way, the information should be stored in place and both the accounts should be linked to that information somehow. The same thing we achieved in database. Okay. So here basically what happened is whenever a person is having same information and one person is having the same information. Now for example, if I'll take the student in the school is having the information in the academy, the office also like fees collection of the data. Now the student is having, one student is having the same address and same information about the parents and the address. It will be the same. But academic marks and the fees record will be stored in at a different places. So instead of storing the information, same information, two different places, we can just link that information to each other. And that is the main motto of the database. And fast retrieval of data along with the storing the data is an optimized and systematic manner. It is also important that we retrieve the data quickly when needed. That means whenever we have to search for any of the student or the bank person, customer, we just go to the data and we can retrieve the information from that database, and which is very quick to access. Database systems ensure that the data is retrieved as quickly as possible. So the main purpose of the database is to manage the data. Consider the university that keeps the data of the student, teacher, books, etc. To manage this data, we need to store this data somehow where we can add new data, delete unused data, update outdated data, retrieve data. To perform this operation on data, we need a database system that allows us to store the data in such a way so that all this can be performed on the data efficiently. So database management system refers to the technology solution used to optimize and manage the storage and retrieval of data from databases. DBMS offers a systematic approach to manage database via an interface for users as well as work accessing the database via apps. The management responsibilities for database encompass information within the database, the process applied to the database, and the database logic structure. The database also facilitates additional administrative operations such as change management, disaster recovery, compliance, and performance monitoring among users. What makes up the database? So the structure of the database is made up of fields, records, and the table. So it is required to have a table so that we can have a building block. So table is the building blocks of the database. Table is a collection of data about a specific topic such as telephone directory or a book collection in a library. Table is a basic element of the database. It organizes data into rows called as record and columns called as field. So record and fields combined makes up the table. The record. A record, that is also called as rows, contains the information on one item or entity. It is also called as tuple. For example, all the information of the item speaker is recorded. So, for example, if I'll tell you in the record, the one particular person information is stored in a one particular record. Okay. Now, if I'll take the example of roll numbers, roll number 1, that the student is having the same information. It's having the information of that particular. So, if I'll take the example like student is having roll number 1, which is the name of the roll number 1 is, for example, Rahul Jain. So Rahul Jain will be having the entire information. How many days the student was present, what is the personal information of the student, name of the parent, mother, father, and the phone number of the parents, then the address of the particular person, which is also called a record of that particular person. The same is for the roll number 2, then roll number 3, and so on. Then we have a field. Field is also called as column, contains a certain type of information in all the records. It is also called as attribute. Here, item number, item name, and item price are the table. Now, for example, if I'll tell you, the roll number is one field. The name of the student is one field. And in the field, we are having different information of the particular student. Now, in roll number 1, we are having the column like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is indicating the roll number only. The column which is having the name is having only the name of the student. The third column is having the name of the father, name of the mother. The next column is having only the phone numbers. And the last column which will be having as an address of the student. So these are called the columns, which is also called as field in the database. And record is nothing but the entire horizontal information, that is horizontal information about the student is or particular student is called the record. Uniqueness of each record. Each record in the table is unique. In other words, you cannot have identical records about the same item in the table. To distinguish one record from another, tables contain primary key field. The primary key is a group of one or more columns used to uniquely identify each record in the table. It can be product code, employee ID, project ID, or a student roll number. So which is the unique number which is given to each and every person. And records are arranged according to the value of the primary key field. The value in the primary key field is different from every record and thus help is in uniquely identifying the records. The two characteristics of primary key are it should be unique and it should not have a null value. That means there should not be any value which is blank field. Okay, so every primary key should have a particular number or a particular primary key is assigned to each and every field. That is very much important. Sometimes more than one attribute is required to uniquely identify an entity. In such cases, the combination of two or more fields can be used as a primary key. The primary key is made up of more than one attribute, is also known as composite key. Each record is uniquely identified by the composite key. Primary key is very much important because if the person is having the same name, for example, in our class also sometimes we are having the same name student. So, roll number is given to each and every student and that roll number is very unique for each and every student. So, if even though you are having two students with the same name or same surname, you can identify the student by using this particular primary key which is given to each and every student and that to be in a unique manner which maintains the uniqueness of that particular student and maintains the record according to the student. So we cannot mix up two students with the same name or with the same surname. We can identify the student by using this roll number. And also the similar way in the office organization also we are having the employee IDs and the same ID cannot be used even though that office person is left or something somehow the person is left from the organization, still the same employee ID which is already allocated to the previous person cannot be allocated to the next person and it cannot be inherited. So it is basically the unique ID is given to that particular person. If the person left, the ID is also left for that particular person. Candidate key. The column or a group of columns that can be used as a primary key or of the table is called the candidate key. Candidate key is a column or a set of columns in the table that can uniquely identify any database record without referring to any other data. Each table may have one or more candidate key, but one candidate key is unique and it is also called as primary key. So you can have multiple candidate key in your field, but you should have a one primary key which is very unique for that particular table. Alternate key. A candidate key of the table is not made. Its primary key is called an alternate key. An alternate key is the key associated with one or more columns whose value uniquely identify each row in the table, but which is not a primary key. For example, where the primary key for the table may be employee ID, the alternate key might come the first, middle or the last name of the employee. So we can have alternate key like if the person has a similar name, we can use this last, that is surname, as an alternate key for that particular table. Foreign key is a column or a group of columns that is used to establish between the tables. The field set as a foreign key is the primary key of another table, and thus it is used to establish the cross reference with that table. The foreign key is a column or a group of columns in a relational database table that provides a link between data in two tables. It acts as a cross-reference between tables because it references the primary key of another table, thereby establishing the link between them. The majority of the tables in relational database system adhere to the foreign key concept. In complex database and the data warehouses, data in the domain must be added across the multiple tables, thus maintaining the relationship between them. The concept of the relational integrity is derived from the foreign key. So foreign key and their implementations are more complex than primary keys. So basically, the primary key of one table is the foreign key for another table. We are having two tables over here, the fees record and the academic records. Now academic records primary key is the foreign key, the fees record. Access 2013 object. Now Microsoft Office 2013 is that which the software which we are going to access is the most popular and powerful RDBMS software which comes as an integral part of MS Office suite of the application. It is used to organize and manipulate data. It organizes data in the form of tables. It provides a facility to create a relationship between these tables using the common field. A relational database prevents duplication of data. Another important feature of Access is that you can add, update, delete, view data, and establish relationship by using the forms, fields, and retrieve data in the desired way by using queries, and print data in the specific layout by using reports. Some other RDBMS, as I've told you, we have Oracle, SQL like softwares. Now we have some Access object also, that is 2013 objects we have here is table. Already seen the table is the main building block of the database. So it is actually having two views, that is a design view and the datasheet view. That means you can create the database or you can maintain the database in two different views. That is design view. This view help you to set up the table designed by specifying the fields in the table. You can add a field description, set field properties, and add, edit, and delete the various fields in the table. Datasheet view. This view is used to enter the data in the table. In Access 2013, you can add, edit, and delete the field in the table and set fields data. By default, the data in the table is displayed in the datasheet view. Query is a question that we ask about the data that is stored in the table, or a request to perform an action on the data. So here, whenever a query is like we are retrieving the data computer or the data which is already available in the table. If we have to retrieve the data, or we have to see the information about a particular person, we ask the query to the computer that we want to see the data of this particular person. Forms present in the data in the table or a query in the manner we want it to be displayed. The field in the table or query and their values are shown through controls of the form. We can edit the form in the same way as we edit the datasheet table or a query. Forms generally focus on one record that time and can display field from various tables. So form is basically, it's actually storing the information about a particular person. So it's a particular record of a particular person. Reports, it is the printed result of the data. We can quickly and easily design report based on the data. The table is used for creating the query, forms and report. These are included into the database. Macro. Macro in Access 2013 are used to add functionality to your database and automate the repetitive task without programming. The operation that you do manually can be automated by macro. For example, you can attach a macro to the command button in the form so that the macro runs when the command buttons is clicked. It may connect actions like opening the report, running a query, etc. A module stored programming statement written in VBA, that is Visual Basic Programming Language in Access 2013. Whenever you create a macro by selecting from a list of macro actions, you write modules in the Visual Basic Application Programming Language. The module is a collection of declaration statement and procedure that are stored as a unit. Now in this video, we are going to see the interface of Access 2013. So I'll just start with the Access. For starting Access, either I have the search button or this start button. I will go to the start, scroll down till Microsoft Office 2013. And if you have any other office, you can use that also. And in that you will get Microsoft Access 2013. This is the one way that we can start. The another method is you can type here, which is the quick access. And Access 2000, I have two Access here, 2016 and 13, and from that I'm going to Access 2013 since it is in the syllabus. Just click on that Access 2013. So here is the Access window. Now from this, we have got different templates over here, which are ready-made documents available by Microsoft, and you can have a blank document over here, that is blank desktop document. In that you have to just write the name of the file. For example, if you are storing the database of the student, so database of students, just name them, and the file which will be saved over here with the extension ACCDB, that is Access Database. And here you have to select where you are going to save the data. So here, for example, I'm going to save my document on the desktop. So select the desktop, browsing that, click OK, and now you can click on Create. So this is the window of your Access. Now in this you have got this title bar. It appears at the top of the window and displays the name of active database. By default, it displays the path to the folder where the database is stored. It also provides the tools for managing the program and the program window. And at the left hand of the title bar, the program icon, that is, see this one, the Access here. This is to, these are different. So when you click on this, you get the option like restore, move, minimize, maximize, and close option. To the right of the Access icon, the quick access toolbar is given. Can you see this toolbar? This is called quick access toolbar, and through this we can use undo, redo option, save option, and if you want to add more options into this, you can add from this particular button. At the right end of the title bar, 4 buttons, the leftmost, that is here. Okay, so we have got help, we have got minimize, maximize, and close button. Then we have got the ribbon over here. You can see the ribbon in this. And in the ribbon, we have got different options. This is the area below the title bar, and the top of the window has a set of tabs. So clicking on the different tabs, we are going to access, we are going to perform different activities. So here we have got file, home, create, external data, database tools, fields, table, etc. We have here file tab. Now it has a command related to the managing Access 2013 and its database. When you click the colored file tab located on the left button of the ribbon, the backstage, that is view, appears, and the command will be available backstage of your view organized on the pages. and which can be displayed by clicking the command in the left pane. So here we have got the different option like info, new. If you want to create a new database again, you have got the option open, which is the database which is already created and you want to just open that database in this 2013, you can use the open option by browsing your document. We have got the save option. For saving the data, I'm going to first save the table and then we are going to save the data. Then here we have also got the option called save as, wherein if you have to change the name of the file, or if we are going to change the destination of the file for storing, we can use the save as option. We have got the print option for printing the document, printing the table. We have got the close option. So these are the different options which are available. You can redisplay the database and ribbon by clicking the black arrow located above. So here you can see this. You can just click on that and you can go back to your normal window. This is called the navigation pane. This is the area on the left of the window that displays your database object when you open the database or create a new one. And the name of the database objects appear in the navigation pane. So here how much tables you have created, how much data has been added to that, everything will be sorted over here in the navigation bar. Then the tabbed bar. This helps you to open the display the database object that appears under the separate tabs rather than overlapping windows as the earlier version. So this is the basically a tab bar. So since we have already got table 1, so we have got the table. Now if you add the new table, will be available like table 2, table 3, like that. See, this way. So how many tables will be created? The database will be appear in this particular table tab bar. The status bar. This is the status bar. This is the present at the bottom of the window and displays the information on the current database. The right side of the bar shows the button for switching between the views and the active datasheet. So here you can use the view. Different views are available over here. Datasheet view and design view, and this is the status bar which is going to give you the status of this particular database. Here is the design view. You can use that. So view options are also available at the status bar. So this is the basic form how to create the blank database. Now I'm going to close that. I'm going to open this again, Access. So now in this, as we have seen the blank database, how to create, we are going to also see the different, custom web app, charitable contribution. So what exactly we require? So home service, whatever is the template is required for you, you can use that template from this particular window. Okay. So if I'll tell you just I want call tracker database. So here, this is a ready-made database which is already given. That means the fields are already added. I just have to add my information into that database. So I'm going to add that here. I'm going to write the information about, for example, this is database 2. I'm going to save this on my desktop. Okay. And click on create. So in the ready-made database, the fields are already added. It's just that we have to insert the records into that, and we know whatever fields are given, we have to fill the information into that template. Now the next one we have here is how to save the data. So here we have got different tables in the database. So whenever we are creating the data, see this is the one which we were talking about, the data which is already available. That is, fields are already available. We just have to insert the record. And you can see over here, this ID is already given as a primary key. So the ID can be, the auto number, that is the keyword or the data type, which is already added to that. And the data type will be added automatically, however you are inserting the record into that. So wherever the number is given, you have to insert the number. Wherever the name is given, you have to insert the name. So text and numbers are different data types. Wherever it is required, you have to insert that particular data information. I'm going to click on file. I'm going to take the new page, or I'm going to open my existing document. So my student desktop document is already available. I'm going to use the same content for that. Enable content. Now by default, whenever we are creating a database, table 1 is by default added, and in that, if you see, we have got the different data type. The data types are already added in this. If you want to change the data type, you can just go to this particular field and change the data type. For example, I'm going to add the name of the student. So I'm going to write over here, this field is for the name of the student. So student name can be a short text. Here I'm going to write the name of the student. The next field that I'm going to add over here is, I can add a long text for the address. The next field I'm going to add here as number. For example, the contact info, that is contact information. I'm going to use the long text for adding the I've already added the address. So now after adding all this information, I'm going to see, if you can see here in the text, there is nothing over here, but in the contact information, this 0, that is because since it is a number data type, we have to add this information. So I'm going to add the student name over here. I'm going to add the student name as A. If you can see, the by default 1 will come. I don't have to write that 1 because whenever we have to create the database, every person has got the unique ID. Whether we assign the primary key to that or we don't assign the primary key, this is called an auto number, which is assigned to each record accordingly. Then address I'm going to add here is, for example, let's say the contact information, I'm going to add some numbers, and I'm going to come on the next line. I don't have to write the 2 over here. I'm just going to add the information of my student, and then the person stays at Nala Sopara and the contact information. Then again tab, the person is staying at, for example, Virar, and the contact information. This is how you can add the information about the student. Why we are adding the long text and the short text? Because long text is used to store the text and combination of the text and numbers such as address and the number that will not be used in a calculation. So in short text, it is not necessary that you just add the text only. The text can have the combination of numbers as well as the alphabets. Now here, whenever we are using the short text or the long text, we have to, we have to be sure that we are using the first word or first letter as a character only, that is a letter, and then we have to add the number. For example, if I have to write the address, so address can have, for example, I'm staying in A wing building, and the flat number is 301. So how this is going to write in the short text or a long text? You have to first write the A, and then you have to write the number. You cannot write the first as number 301 and then A, okay, because that cannot be accepted. And in the contact information, if you are saying that this is the number data type, there is no any option that you can add the text in that particular field. So text cannot be added into this number column, but in the text column you can add the number followed by only that particular letter. So later have to written in the first, and then you have to write the next data. Long text is used to store the long text file, notes and description. It can store up to 65,535 characters. Numbers, it is used for the number data type that will be used in the calculation. Date and time, it stores data and time values. You can directly display the date and time in various formats. So we can have a date and time format over here also. You can see in this we have date and time can be added in the particular list. After that, here I have got one more option which is called as yes or no. So for example, I can select whether the students can be included or not included. For example, if we use the promotion list for the next year, whichever student is going to promote for the next academic year, we can just select those particular fields. So yes and no is the option which is used for looping of the statement. This can be have only two values, that is true or false. So either the student is promoted or not promoted. The auto number, it stores an integer that increment automatically as you add the records. If the table does not have the primary key, then the auto number uniquely identifies the record. If you delete record, its auto number value is not reused and remaining records are not updated. The currency also we have got over here. The currency is having basically the money. You can specify the various currencies and display them in the different format. For example, dollar sign, rupee sign we can have for, or euro sign we can have for this currency format. OLE object. This stores the graphic or object such as a worksheet or a document format. Hyperlink, this is a clickable path to a folder or on your hard disk and network location or a website. So whenever we just click on that particular link, we'll be connected to that file or for the data wherever it is stored. We can also have the email ID format in this. So that we can add the emails in that, and when we just click on that email ID, we just connect to that particular location if the internet is available. Attachment, it is used to attach a file or a record in the same way you attach the file in the email message. Calculated, it is used to store the result of the calculation based on the other fields in the same table. So as we know, we can have a different data types according to the requirement. We just have to select the data type in this particular format. Now here if I have to insert the date, I'm going to insert the date according to that particular date format which is available. You can see in this, if I have to add the different dates for different student, for example, the date of birth specially, so I can add those dates over here. Okay, the fields which are true or false, we can select just the field that these students are going to promote. This third student may not promote for the next academic year. Then this particular field is going to have the dollar sign, the currency that you can mention. So currency will be added over here. So this is the basically field that we have to create. Now, if we have to create we have to go to design view. This is by default, as I told you, datasheet view, which is default available in the database. And when we go to the design view, we will save the table as table 1, or if you want to insert some other name for the table, you can give the other name also, which is preferable and can be accessible, can be remembered easily. Click OK and just go to this particular format. We have the information. Here we can give the description about the particular field, like why we are using this particular field. And if you can see here, this primary key is already added in this ID, so that a person who is having the same name can be identified by using the different key over here, which is the unique ID given to that particular person. So once it is done, you can go to the data sheet view and you can have your information. And if you want to create another table, so you can go to the table, and in this you can create multiple tables, like however fields you require. Now if you want to add a field with the description, you can first go to the design view, and here you just save the table as table 2, and you can add the information in this. For example, I'm going to add the marks column. So example, I have subjects like English, and this is the number, so I'm going to add here as a number data type. Then suppose I have the other information like Marathi subject. So I'm going to add that Marathi, and since it is a mark, so I'm going to add the number. Then we have suppose Hindi subject. Then this is also a number format. We are going to add that. And then one more we have here is, for example, other subjects, like you can add the total also. We have total of the subject. This is also a number, so I'm going to add the number over here. Then we have average, and this is also a number, so I'm going to add the number over here. Okay. So these are the different information. Once it is done, you can go to the datasheet view and start writing the information. You should save the file. So here you can save directly like this, or you can use the options over here. You can save the data. Click yes, and then the fields are automatically added. You just start inserting the information. The total is calculated once, so you have to use the calculation. So this total and average can be calculated in the data sheet only and can be saved in the database. So this is how we can use the database for. This is the basic structure of the database which we can use. This is a table 1 and table 2 information. So table 1 and table 2 can be merged together and can be accessed together by using the relational database management system. And if you have to close the database, just save the database because it is already named while creating, and then go to this closing of the document. Now, next video is about the working with fields. Sometimes you need to change the table design. After creating the table, in the datasheet view, you can add field, delete a field, rename a field, move that field and change the data type if you want to change the data type also. So let's start with the database. We have already created the table over here. I'll just start with the Access 2013. And as we know, the fields are nothing but, I'm going to open the existing database. Now fields are nothing but the columns. So as my data is already created over here, you can see we have got the auto number, then the text, short text, long text, the number, different types of fields are already added. So if in case I have to move the field, now for example, these are empty fields. I have to remove this, just right click on this and delete the field. Yes. The same way over here also, delete the field if it is not required. If you want to change the field location, for example, date has to come before the contact number, so I can move easily. Just select that and drag it. Hold your left click, mouse left click, and just drag wherever you want to locate that, and the field can be separated. Then after that, if you want to hide, unhide the field, so you can use that. Just right click on that particular field which you have to hide or unhide, and just use this option. We have got option over here, hide fields. So this way we can hide the field. And if you have to unhide the field, just click on random any of the field and click on this unhide fields. The whichever field is hidden, you can just click on that, will be considered as an unmarked. So just mark that and click close, will be available in front of you. After that, if you have to freeze and unfreeze the field, so when you scroll the right table in many ways, so while scrolling, we suppose want the table must be very big. In Excel, we generally use this freezing and unfreezing the fields. So if I want that ID or name has to be constant over there, and the other fields can be movable, so I can freeze and unfreeze that particular field. So if I have to click on over here, this I will just say freeze field. So I will just freeze that, and if I have to move, so I don't have much field over here, I'll just add one by one so that we will get the more fields, and I can scroll. So now I have many more fields over here which is scroll bar. Now if I just scroll those fields, I have to see more fields. You can see over here all these fields are movable apart from the student name. Okay, so this field is basically freeze field and it is not movable, and if I have to move that also, I will just say unfreeze all the fields, and then if you can see now everything is movable over here. Okay, now I'll just shift this ID over here. Okay, so this is how we can just shift our field, moving the field, hiding the field. If we don't want to see that field in the table, we can just hide that. And if you have to see the table about the information or the record about a particular student, and you have to you want that particular field has to be available in front of you also, you can use the freeze and unfreeze option on that. Now how to sort the data. Sorting and filtering data is very much important. Now sorting, you can sort the information sorted in the table based on the values, or in one or more fields is either ascending or descending order. So sorting of the fields is basically, you want that data to be in ascending order or in the descending order, that you can decide over here. Okay, basically it is in ascending order, so you can make it in descending order also. If you want to see upside down, you can select accordingly. And then filter option, if I have to see the data only of student A and C, so I will say okay, so A and C will be visible over here. So that is how it is called, the filtering the options. Since we have applied the filter to this particular column, the filter option, the icon is available on this, so that we can identify the filter is available or filter is applied to this particular field. After that, if I have to see, suppose I have got the different table of academics, that is marks of the student, and in that if I have to see the students who have got less than and greater than numbers. So if I have to see the numbers which is between 25 to 40, who has got this marks, so I just wanted to list that only. Those students who have got the marks between 25 to 40, okay. So I have got the student over here, which is 25. And if I'll see, I have got 25. And then suppose if I want the number between, I'm saying here I want number between 25 to 45, whoever is got. So I will get the marks over here according on the basis of that. And since I have applied this filter to English marks, so the marks which is based on the English will be displayed over here for the particular student. I'm going to enter one field over here, which is the name field. So I'm going to say insert field, and this will be the name. So I'm going to write some names over here. I'm going to write Rahul, Priya, Aditi, these are some names which I have written over here. And now, for example, if I have a list of 70 to 100 students of the students in the class, and if I have to search any one name from that, so I'm going to just write over here, I have to search the information about the Aditi. So the name directly displayed will be highlighted in front of me, and I can use that. This is a search box where we can type the information and we can easily search the information regarding to that student. Okay, so this is how we can quick have a look of this fields. Fields are nothing but the columns, and each field is having the same entity of data, that is same amount of data is available in that. So for example, record is having this information and field is having the same kind of information available over here. Now for calculation, if I have to do the calculation, I might use query for calculation, like adding, that is sum, average, or other calculation also I can do in this. But if I have to do the total, I can just go to the home tab, and in this I have got the option called totals. So total will be added over here. I'm just saying that I have to total sum of this, or I want the average of this. See, the directly information available in this maximum, the minimum number which we require. So whatever information you want to find out from the entire classroom, you can easily find out by using this total. And apart from this, if you want to do it for individual student, you will require to have the query. You have to write the query for that, which we are going to see in the next chapter. Okay. Thank you.